G'day and welcome to Aussievision. We are talking about Spain's Benidorm Fest, which happened this morning, Australia time, and it was looking like it was going to be a close two-horse race. Wasn't so close in the end. We had a winner with Blanca Paloma, didn't we, Mark? Tell me, what did you think about her performance and her kind of comfortable win?
Yeah, I mean, taking out both the jury and the tally vote in the end quite comfortably, and only just getting pipped at the post for the demoscopic poll. So really a very comprehensive victory. And much like in the semi-final, I was bewitched and transported by what she does. I think she has a theatrical background, I've learned, and I think you see that in the drama that's created on stage. But for my mind, I just love that combination of sort of traditional Spanish culture and very modern, sleek setting and appearance and sound. So, yeah, look, I'm fully on board the bandwagon and very glad to see her go.
Fantastic. Look, I won't lie. I was an Agoney man. I really wanted that to go, but I was more than happy for Blanca because, I mean, that performance, it does change your mind about the song because I was not a big fan of the song from the studio at all, but that performance, fantastic. And it was the jury score, I think, as soon as she beat Agoney by 14 points, I was like, well, it's over. I just could not see him catching up from that point in time with the scoring system. So she's done so well. And look, the Spanish public have chosen something that they want to go. And it is really quite, obviously Spanish for a better word and quite raw and authentic. Obviously, without talking too much about Eurovision because we don't know all the songs yet, do you think they've made the right choice for Eurovision? A lot of people think this won't do so well when it gets to the main competition.
Well, it's not Chanel and it's not accessible mainstream pop, but what it is, as you say, authentic. And when you look at the last 4 or 5 winners of Eurovision, I think that's the term that unites them all. When you think about, obviously, Kalush Orchestra, but before that, Måneskin, even the likes of Duncan Lawrence and even Netta, even though that was much more sort of up tempo. I mean, they were true to their own style and genre, and that's what I think connects with an audience ultimately. So, look, it might have a harder time than Agony would, but I don't think that we should be writing this off. I've seen some things online, people saying, "Well, back to the bottom of the grand final leaderboard." That's just not going to happen because this is a quality vocalist. This is a delegation that have stepped up their game so immensely in the last couple of years and are really riding a wave at the moment. So no, I really think this is vying with a chance to be, in the conversation come the Saturday night at Eurovision.
Exactly. I think even if people are a bit put off when it first starts, like even watching it live and they go away and come back, like she hits those couple of big vocal parts with that drama and theater at the end that you just stop and you have to take notice of it. It's just impeccable. It's amazing. And I actually think her running order going after Agoné helped because I felt like he put it down. Here's my performance. Bam. She came out and then she got to finish the head-to-head with that big one note at the end. I think if it had been swapped around, it might have been closer, but I don't think it would have made the difference in the end all up. So on Agoné, obviously he didn't, get maybe as close as I probably thought. Did he do anything wrong today or was just beaten by someone better?
I actually don't think his performance was as strong today or tonight in Spain as it was during the semi-final. And the head juror, whose name I forget momentarily, spoke she spoke in Spanish, and my Spanish is limited. But what I managed to divine from what she was saying in her introduction at the start of the semi-final was what they were looking for tonight was energy, but also control. And I think that Agoné came out full of energy, and I think he really pushed his performance in parts more than he did during the semi-final. And perhaps as a result, the control and the focus that he had last time wasn't quite there. I just don't think he hit his beats like he did last time round. But that's nitpicking, I think. It was very strong.
I kind of agree. I think he was in some ways a little bit better, like the energy and some parts of it, but then in other parts slightly not quite as slick, but he hit every note he had to. He performed the hell out of it. And I don't think even if he went above and beyond, I don't think it would have made a difference because of what Blanca delivered there. So an amazing runner-up and a song that I'll keep listening to afterwards. So it just shows the strength. Other other countries would kill for an Agoney type of song to go to Eurovision. So out of the best of the rest, obviously we had Vico with Nocentera come third and was in the top three of each one as well.
I think if we had another week or another 2 weeks to the grand final, I think we would see that song pick up momentum because it's a great catchy pop song and it seems very much in keeping with that sort of TikTok viral style of song and performance. So I reckon had this been a week by week semi final and then a grand final down the track, then I think Vico could have really gone close to cracking the top spot. But no, I think a really good performance and a polished one. She was also reminding us in all her little interviews tonight that if she goes to Eurovision, she'd really polish it and change it and give a fresh approach. So it's unfortunate she won't get the chance to do that. I guess you have to leave it all out on the floor. But a good performance.
Yeah, I thought she was much better than she was in the semi, actually, just a bit nervy in the semi. And I think she was, she's not the most premier vocalist you'll ever hear, but she kept everything within her range and did a really good job of it overall. So it was a cute little performance. And I think it was nice to see her in the top three. Any best of the rest of it? Because it was, such a great lineup. It's hard to choose just one, but anyone else jump out at you for their result or their performance?
What jumped out at me was just the uniform strength of the performances tonight. I actually thought after the semi-finals it really would be this two-horse race and clear air to the rest of the pack. But even the likes tonight of Jose Otero, who's not, that song didn't speak to me, and it's probably not something I naturally gravitate towards. Felt really very strong and accomplished. So I just think it's, as a whole package, Benidorm has been so wonderful both years, and I think it's great for after last year and it ended on somewhat of a sour note because of the audience response, not the vote not going the way that they had perhaps hoped. It's great that everyone was sort of on board with the winner this year because that would be left behind, and it really is I think becoming a celebration of Spanish music as much as a selection mechanism for Eurovision. And that's what we always say about things like Australia Decides. We want it to be more than just, the step before Eurovision. It needs to be in and of its own right, a show.
Yeah, the change of direction in Spain the last few years to go down this track and almost take a bit of the San Remo approach in a smaller capacity and a bit more polished up is, I think, working a treat. I think so many songs that jumped out, Magada I did not like that going into this, an amazing performance. They did really well. Convento making the final and then actually coming sixth and beating a few home. I thought that was a really good for her performance. So, we could talk about them all, but I think, as you say, I think a song that has united Spanish fans, which is very hard to do. Maybe the international fans might take some winning over, but I think by the time we get to Eurovision, they might be a lot more on board. So we'll see how we go. Well, anyway, thanks for covering Spain with us here at Aussievision, Mark. You've been fantastic and all over for another year of that feast of Spanish music.
Thanks, Dale. Go get some rest.
I will. I need some sleep. See you later.